Josh Giddey gets another triple double and goes into elite category with Jokic and LeBron as far as overall stats on the season. This was a big win by the Chicago Bulls, 119-111 over the Miami Heat, which it took all the Bulls starters to really step up. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Hayes, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go and get into this content for today. And the Chicago Bulls get a dub, 119-111 over the Miami Heat, and it looks like that rest last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers paid off in the Chicago Bulls' favor. You got Josh Giddey with a triple-double today, 28 points, 16 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals in this game from Josh Giddey. Kevin Huerter with 22 points. He's the second leading scorer. Coby White shakes off a quiet first half where he made no field goals from the field. He finishes with 18 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds in this game, 1 block as well. Every single starter but Kevin Huerter registered a block as well. 20 and 11 from Vooch today with 8 assists. He almost had a triple-double himself. And 17 points from Matas Buzelis with 4 rebounds, 1 block. He goes 6 of 10 from the field. Kev, how you feeling about this game, brother?
You got to close out games like this, and that's what the Chicago Bulls did. Over the last 2.5, 3 seasons, we've seen the Chicago Bulls lose games like this. Yeah. And that's not what they did tonight. They went out there and started slow. They started slow, Hayes, and it looked like maybe they shouldn't have rested the players last night, but then they started to get their rhythm. They started to get their legs about them. And you know what? My A-plus player of the game is Kevin Huerter because he kept the Bulls in it in that first half.
He really did.
He kept the Bulls in that first half, and then the rest of the guys caught up to the rhythm, and it was like, you know what? We came to play too. Shout out to the Bulls. The bench didn't really show up tonight. Now, no disrespect to the bench. They hit some big shots, timely shots, but it wasn't like one of those bench games where you're going to get 20, 25 points from these guys. It was the starting lineup. All 5 of the starting lineup played consistent basketball tonight, and it led to a victory for the Chicago Bulls. And it's crazy how we saying this, Hayes, but you got to start giving Billy Donovan more credit as the season comes to a close. He's been doing proper timeouts, proper substitutions. He's been doing all those things the right way pretty much since the trade, and it makes you start to wonder, was it really Billy Donovan or was it the alphas that we had on this squad? But good win for the Chicago Bulls tonight.
Well, I think the point, to go back to the point that you just made, Billy Donovan is always a coach that he acquiesced to his to the stars on the team, right? And so now you remove that. You don't have any go-to players per se on the team the way traditionally. So now you have to open it up and really involve everyone, right? And so because of that, everybody's getting an opportunity to touch the ball. You have 2 players in Coby and Giddey who, while they have been scoring a lot, especially since the trade, they still are both really good at facilitating. And so now you have the ball moving around. Everybody's involved. And therefore, like, this offense looks a lot more fluid, man. It's looking really good. And like you said, Billy Donovan picking out the rotations really good in this one. The scheme looks good. We're going to zone defense, which is not something that we've done a lot over the last couple of years, and being really successful at that. I mean, you know, I'm not a Billy Donovan guy, but I am a realist, and I got to be honest with what I see. Billy Donovan's coaching the hell out of his team right now, man.
He really is, man. And like, even the spot minutes that you saw from like THT, Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, earlier in the year, it's like, why is this person in the game? Why did you take that player out the game? Mm-hmm. What type of situation? Call a timeout. We haven't really seen that. And honestly, if you look back to what didn't he get ejected or he got a tech? I know he got a tech.
Yeah, he got.
And it was like, from that point on, it's like Billy Donovan been like, I'm gonna coach this team. It's almost like he's in OKC Billy Donovan mode. He likes to have young players. He likes to have those players that he can talk to and build. And honestly, as much as I love DeRozan, as much as I love Zach LaVine, and I'm not one of those people that's going to throw shade at them, they just weren't built for a Billy Donovan type of team. That's just the reality of it. So this Bulls team right now, since that trade, will pretty much like 4 games after the trade and forward, the Chicago Bulls have looked like a playoff team, not just a play-in team, but a playoff team.
Yeah. I mean, and the Bulls are really, as a team right now, they're battling, right? And so to see the Bulls in this game with all the starters playing the way that they have, everybody played a role in this win down the stretch of this game, especially so many people hit big shots. Coby hit a big shot. Giddey hit several. Even Matas and Vooch hit big shots down the stretch of this game. Like, that's what you want to see. Now, I would like to see better overall production from the bench than we got today. We got 12 total points off the bench, but beggars can't be choosers. Not everything's going to go your way every single game. We've seen games where we've gotten nice production off somebody off the bench. So, you like to assume that that's going to happen again at some point. In this game,
real quick about the bench, bro, you got to go back to Billy Donovan. You have 40 minutes from Josh Giddey, 37 from Huerter, 35 from Coby, 35 from Nick, and then 34 from Matas Buzelis. So he noted that the bench wasn't really productive tonight, and he did not try to lean on them. He leaned on his starters tonight. Like, you know what? Y'all doing y'all thing. Everybody in the starting lineup was a positive plus minus. Even Coby White, with the struggles that he had, was a positive plus minus. You had 3 players with 20 plus points. And Matas Buzelis, if he hits one of those other threes that he missed, he'd be at 20 points as well. And Coby White was 2 away from 20. Your entire starting lineup averaged overall over 20 points. So I can't be mad at the way they approached it, because the bench didn't really have it tonight.
Yeah, they didn't have it at all. The Bulls out-rebounded the Miami Heat by 7 rebounds today, which is really good. You look at the free throw line as well. The Bulls got to the free throw line 13 times, and Miami Heat got to the free throw line 17 times. The Bulls hit all 13 of those. We were 100% from the free throw line today, which is really good at the discrepancy there. 51% from the field as a team today. 37%, basically 38% from 3, which is really solid as well. The Bulls just played an efficient brand of basketball, and this is what goes back to when you allow the game to come to you. It's no more forcing it. It's no more a certain player needs a certain amount of shots. They really move it around. When you look at it as well with the starters, every starter got at least 10 shots. Nobody got over 20 shots in this game. Josh Giddey got 19, but that's because he was hot down the stretch of the game and forcing the issue. But overall, like, I love the balance that we have in this team. Let me ask you this, Kev, because this Miami Heat team is the team that we're more than likely going to face, unless we do move up to 8th in the first game of the play-in tournament. Did this game do anything as far as adding to your confidence when we take them on?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily for them, just period. Like, I feel like I have more confidence now than I did when the Bulls made the trade. Like, I feel like the Chicago Bulls, when they made the trade, I didn't even know if they would make the play-in tournament, much less the playoffs. I feel like this is a playoff basketball team. The last 3 seasons, the Bulls have made the play-in tournament, and I didn't feel confident in either one of those seasons going into the play-in tournament. Right now, I feel confident. I feel like they're going to win that first game regardless of who the opponent is. Hopefully, it's an opponent in the 7-8 game, and I know they can do that as well, because Orlando and Atlanta got to go at it again, and Orlando's playing really good basketball right now. But the Chicago Bulls, they're going to be fine regardless of who they have to play. And you know why? They're not forcing the 3 anymore. They came into the season like, oh, we're going to shoot like everybody else in the NBA and shoot 53s a game. No, they're not forcing it. 37.8% tonight is big. Shooting 40% from 3 is huge for the Chicago Bulls, because you remember the last few seasons, they were in the bottom of the league in 3-point percentage, 3-pointers taken, so on and so forth. But right now, they're not just taking them and throwing them up. They're taking them within the Florida offenses you mentioned, and they're making them. So I feel like this team has a big, big opportunity here to give us playoff basketball for the first time since AK and them took over, when they brought in Alonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan and them, and they were leading the Eastern Conference, and they went to the playoffs against Milwaukee. This team has a big opportunity to give us playoff basketball on Chicago Bulls Central and the Shot Bulls podcast.
Yeah, I mean, playoff basketball, we haven't had playoff basketball in a very, very long, actual playoff basketball. And while I know a lot of people are worried about what that means for the draft and things like that, where do you sit with that, Kev? Like, is missing out on a potential lottery pick worth the development? I know how I feel, but how do you feel? So is the development that you've seen here from these players worth potentially missing out on a lottery pick?
Initially, I was like, let's it's at this point, when they traded Zach, when they traded the players they traded in the preseason, when we were in the offseason, I was like, hey, well, maybe this is going to be the year where the Chicago Bulls get a top 3 to 5 pick. But let's just be honest, they haven't really hit on those picks pretty much since Derrick Rose, when they have those type of high picks. So like I'm okay with what we have. It was really a Matas Buzelis type of development situation after the trade of Zach LaVine for me. And not only have they done what I suggested over on Shy Boys podcast, like maybe these young players will hit a stride and start to play pretty well. They've exceeded my expectations because I didn't expect them to do what they're doing. So I don't care about the pick right now. Matas Buzelis is getting great development right now. Coby White is getting confidence to the point where he can figure he could be a number one option on a team right now. And Josh Giddey is a solid point guard. My big thing is what's irritating me the most, Hayes, is that Vucevic has been playing well in this stretch, bro. Like he's been playing well enough for people probably that's going to be in the comment section like, maybe we should keep Vooch once we get to the offseason. And it's like, what do the Bulls do with Vucevic? He's going to be the biggest question mark going into the last year of his contract in this offseason. So, but as far as losing the pick, the top pick or top 3 pick, top 5 pick, I'm not too worried about that because we already know who the top players are. It's like 3 players that are going to be franchise changing and the rest are going to be projects.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I won't say that. I think that there are some franchise-changing talents personally in this draft. It's just not ones that are they're going to instantly make you like a title contender. But there are some really good players in this draft that are going to be on teams for decades, and I think could really be 1s, 2s on the team. But we'll get to that when we get to the draft conversation, and we get into that part of it. Let me ask you this. Coby White tonight didn't shoot the ball the best. He still finishes with a decent percentage. 5 of 14 from the field isn't terrible, right? But in watching this game, I know people are going to look at the stat sheet and try to make a determination. But for me, Kev, watching this team, watching Coby play in this game, he still was impacting the game, even when he went 0 for 5 from the field, I think, in the first half of this game. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like Coby White found a way to continually impact the game until his shot did start falling?
Absolutely. That's what Coby does, though. This like last season when Coby caught fire, he was like lightning in the bottle a little bit. He started slow, and then he had a strong like end of November all the way through the middle of January. And then he was like up and down for the rest of the year. This year, we're actually getting consistent Coby. Mm-hmm. Like we're getting consistent Coby in every aspect. And if he can't do it shooting the 3, because early in the year, he fell in love with the 3. And that's what bothered me the most about Coby is that his best asset is attacking the basket, which creates the mid-range for him, which opens up the 3. And he wasn't doing that to start the season because he still had Zach LaVine on the team. He's kind of deferring to him. But since Zach has left, Coby understands how to pick his spots, when to speed it up, when to slow down. Today was another one of those opportunities for him. Like, okay, I'm struggling, but I'm still going to affect the game in a positive way. And he had the lowest plus minus of the starters, if I'm not mistaken. But he still went out there and played effectively enough to prove that he's a leader on this squad. So shout out to him.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting it together really well. Coby, and that's an important thing for Coby because the shot's not always going to fall. That's just the nature of how he plays the game of basketball. I'm not even trying to crap on him or anything like that, but like the Bulls being 15-10 since the All-Star break. This has been the most consistent that we've seen Coby with his impact, with his play, the numbers, all of that. Every player is going to have a game where they don't quite have it, right? But I think to me, the telling part of it is that how do you adapt? For a long time, when Coby White did not have, or like he went 0-6 in the first half of this game, he would just keep shooting. You saw Coby White that was like, all right, my shot's not falling, let me attack. He didn't get some calls in the first half that I think should have went his way, but he slowly started getting himself in rhythm to where in the fourth quarter, he had a couple of big shots that we all needed down the stretch of it. And that's the difference from Coby White this season is that he's understanding that when my shot's not falling, let me attack, let me set up. I can create for people off my drives. And I know you said early in the season, like he was becoming a jump shooter. And I don't know if that was designed by Billy Donovan because we just weren't putting the ball a lot in Coby White's hands or he was falling in love with the shot. But it's good to see now that everybody's kind of recognizing this is the player that Coby needs to be. And thus, him and Josh Giddey have really found their balance because they're both just being themselves. Now, it's no more trying to let me do this so I can play better next to you. It's like, hey, this is what I do well. This is what you do well. How can we combine that? And I think that's been the part that's been really special about this team.
Going back to Billy Donovan, you just mentioned it. They came into the season saying they wanted to shoot more 3s. They wanted to have a 12 seconds or less, 8 seconds or less approach. They had a 20-second shot clock.
Yeah.
Start the preseason. So like all of that plays a role in shooting a lot of 3s. So Coby he's falling in love, not just with the 3, but with the process. And it was a trust the process mentality the Bulls came into the season with. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to ignore the fact that Billy Donovan has adjusted from that. This is something that we struggled with Billy Donovan. He seemed like the type of player, kind of like Matt Nagy, kind of like Eberflus with the Bears, that once they had their minds locked in on what they wanted to do, they weren't going to stray from that. But Billy Donovan has changed his approach to how he's dealing with the current personnel that he has. With the trade, when I saw the trade with San Antonio, or with Sacramento and San Antonio, it was like, man, like Collins, Huerter, like what are these guys going to do? They've come in and been effective pieces for this process of the Chicago Bulls. Like Kevin Huerter tonight, oh my God, like what are we talking about? And Kevin Huerter is one of those guys that he could be like a Duncan Robinson, but no, he does it inside, outside, and gives you like 3 or 4 assists. And he'll play defense.
And Giddey's the engine of all that. Like Giddey keeps, like if you look at, I would love to see, and I have the shot chart, the passing chart. I need to bring it up. How many of, for example, Nikola Vucevic's buckets were created off Giddey, and same thing like the passing. Like you mentioned the passing of Kevin Huerter. When you have everybody on this team in the starting lineup can pass. Giddey can pass. Coby can pass. Huerter can pass. Vooch can pass. Matas can pass. And so you're seeing these guys play off each other, and it's all coming naturally, right? So Kevin Huerter's been a huge part. We talked about it in the live call. I think the part about like having veterans that understand their roles. When we traded for Kevin Huerter, I called him a system player. And I didn't necessarily mean that as a slight. I just meant that he's a guy that can really make your system be a key part of your system, but he doesn't make the system, if that makes sense. Like, and Kevin Huerter's come in here and he's played his role extremely well. And I was right. Four of Nikola Vucevic's baskets came off Josh Giddey's assist today. Great.
And the rest of them probably came off Huerter.
Yeah, so yep. Well, one of them came off Huerter as well, and one came off Coby White. So gotta love seeing that, man. Josh Giddey, he created 25 points off assists today to go with his over 20 points from the field today. Like Josh Giddey was responsible for 53 points today of 119 points. That's crazy.
And Vooch was responsible for 30 something.
Yeah. So it is what it is, man. This is really good to see, and it just feels different because it feels more sustainable than anything we've had before, and that's why like having players that fit together well is as important as the players that you have, because we had talent. DeMar's a talented player. Zach's a talented player. Look what they're doing over in Sacramento right now, right? So. But you got to have the right mix of players. You got to have the right balance, and you got to have the right style that gets it all out of those guys. And Billy, like you said earlier, hats off to Billy Donovan for putting that all together. Haven't spent a lot of time on the Rook today. 6 of 10 from the field, 17 points. But this was another game where his confidence was building over the course of the game. Of course, the stare down everybody's going to be talking about. But Matas Buzelis, the difference between Matas and P. Will, and this isn't necessarily to slide anybody. Matas is getting the same 10
yes,
shots.
It is.
Well, it's a slight if it's real, but I mean, it's not necessarily intended to slide anybody. It's just intended to be real. Right now, Matas is getting the same amount of shots basically that Patrick Williams is getting. But even with that, he's impacting the game more places. He's being more active. He's moving without the ball, those type of things. And it's making him have more of an impact. The way that Matas has grown this season as a rookie, the sky's really the limit for him when it comes down to it. How you feeling, Kevin?
I mean, let's go back to the NBA draft. We were live right here. And we were like, damn, the Bulls can pick up Dalton Knecht or Matas Buzelis in a draft where both of those guys are predicted to be top 10, top 5 picks. And when the Bulls selected Matas Buzelis, all of us were excited.
Mm-hmm.
All of us were, because we knew what this kid could bring, and he was a Chicago area kid. And I think that's where the difference comes in. He's a Chicago area kid. He done played against people that play at Simeon in the AAU circuit, people that play at Farragut, people that play on the west side, north side, south side. And if you're from Chicago, you know what it means to be a white boy, to go out there and play. You know, there's no slight to him. I ain't trying to be, bogus. But to be a white boy to go out there and put up numbers against these kids from the hood, you know what it is. We've seen the John Shire legend grow since Duke made it all the way to the Final Four. You start to see people see what John Shire was really about when he's playing against these people, these guys in the city. And Matas Buzelis was another one of those guys. We saw it. And we've seen it in this throughout the season with regard to him being in the dunk contest and what he's done in pregame warmups and so on and so forth. So to see him tonight hit that big three, that pretty much put the nail in the coffin for the Chicago Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Matas Buzelis, man, because he had a stretch. He hit the rookie wall. Remember that 3-4 weeks ago? We were talking about it. He hit the rookie wall and he transcended it. He ran through it. That's what you got to do. as a young player in this league, you can't just go over the rookie wall. You can't just run into it. You got to run through it. And that's what he's done so far. So shout out to Matas Buzelis, bro. We knew what he was capable of in the draft, though.
We did, and I'll be honest, I didn't expect to see it this soon, right? Mainly because of Billy Donovan and his reluctance to play rookies at a time, for the majority of his time here, but also because it takes time to find your groove in the NBA for some players. But Matas went through the process of, all right, I'm just going to do what's asked of me. I'm a starter. I'm still going to do what's asked of me. I'm going to step up sometimes, but you just continually saw his confidence build and build and build. And now, like, going into the final 2 games of the season, into the play-in tournament, Matas Buzelis is playing with some of the most confidence we've seen from a rookie, and he's going to be ready not just to experience his first postseason. He's going to be there being a contributor on both sides of the ball for the Bulls right away.
Well, he's playing like what we wanted, who we talked about a second ago, Patrick Williams, to play like. We wanted Patrick Williams to play like what Matas Buzelis is doing. And going back to the draft, we all said, not even just the draft, training camp. Let's go to training camp. We all said, me, you, Steve-O, Bobby, and C-Dub were saying that Patrick Williams got to watch his back because we saw Summer League. We saw what Matas Buzelis was capable of. So Patrick Williams he don't got to watch his back no more. He knows what it is. Matas Buzelis has the confidence and the courage and the know-how and the je ne sais quoi to go out there and do what we expected Patrick Williams to do. And there's no disrespect, like you said earlier, to Patrick Williams, but he's never was supposed to be in that situation to be a number 4 overall pick and come in with all the pressure of coming like the Marcus Fizer type. That's what he reminds me of at this point, Marcus Fizer. Like Marcus Fizer was raw as hell in college. He did his thing. Patrick Williams wasn't even as raw as Marcus Fizer was in college.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where the Bulls took a flyer out on a guy. They went on a potential and it just didn't work out. It just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it is what it is. Like every front office has their misses. The Bulls aren't abstaining from that. They had their miss. And now they got a guy in Matas who, like, if we're being real, if you were to do a redraft today, Matas Buzelis is going 1. I mean, maybe you can make a case for 2 if you want to try to talk about what Jared McCain did earlier in the season, but we're so far removed from that. But like, I don't see how Matas Buzelis wouldn't go number 1 in the redraft. I wouldn't. No. I got a Stephon Castle with the Spurs you can make a case for that, but and both sides of the ball, I'm giving it to Matas. Stephon Castle's not playing any defense for her. Right
and Risha Sher has shown flashes,
over
there in Atlanta. So like he's shown flashes where it's like, oh, he just dropped 30. So we know that this is not over. Yeah. This is going to be a conversation that's had for the next 2 or 3 seasons, where it's like, oh, who should go number 1, 2, or 3? But it definitely ain't the dude in Charlotte. It definitely ain't.
Yeah, that's for sure. We know that. Any other thoughts, Kev, from this game, man?
No, man. Like, I'm just happy that I was able to watch it because I'll be at work usually during this time. I'm at home with the kids this week, and I got to spend the time and watch the game and see. And I've been watching them obviously at work, but to watch it with the guys and see what it's been looking like. Josh Giddey is a walking triple-double. Vooch is a walking double-double. And then Coby, even when he struggles, is effective. And honestly, you know how I feel about Billy Donovan. You know how all of us feel about Billy Donovan. Mm-hmm. I got to start giving him more credit than I've been willing to give him over the last couple of seasons because he's honestly been a better coach.
Yeah, he's been much better. And you just, you can deny that if you want to, but you'll be denying reality in that case because Billy Donovan's been much better for this Bulls team. Juan says, when Buzelis went coast to coast by himself for the fast break in the first quarter and finish was special. He had like a different gear going past everyone. And he does. It's the fact that he is fast, but then he's still tall as hell. He takes those long strides, and he has the super long arms where he can take off. And what are you going to do? You know what I really want to see Matas Buzelis develop? It may not happen from year 1 and 2, but by year 3, that Dirk mid-range fadeaway, because he has the wingspan, and if he can get that going, at that point, you got to guard him at all 3 levels, and you still kind of got to guard him at all 3 levels now because he has that quick first step. He can get to the rim in 2 steps if he gets his shoulders past you.
Yeah, you're gonna get some dribble too much from him this offseason. Yeah. Coby didn't put it in his phone already.
yeah. And again, Matas from Chicago, so he's going to be in Chicago this summer. He's going to be working with Peter Patton a lot this summer as well. Like, I'm not putting anything on him. I'm not making it an expectation, but I will say this: I won't be surprised if we see Matas Buzelis from year 1 to year 2 hit a crazy leap. I would not be surprised at that at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm excited, bro. It's been a minute.
Absolutely. Book Bogdy says, "No, I still think Vooch should be moved." Yeah, I think Vooch should still be moved this off. Like, there's nothing that I feel like Vooch should not be moved this off season, especially if you draft a center. Now, I can see if the Bulls don't, because where they draft, there may not be centers on the board. Maybe they take a 4 or something like that. Then I can see maybe Vooch sending out the rest of his contract. Kev, where do you stand right now? What do you think is going to happen with Vooch?
YK Boogie. I think Vooch, especially what he said today about the Serbian population in Chicago, Serbia, right?
Yeah.
I think he loves Chicago, and it's not just because of the Serbians. I think he might got a little hot chocolate over here, a little hot cocoa over there that he been dealing with. Look at his fades, bro. He dealing with some people, bro. But at the end of the day, I feel like Vooch wants to be in Chicago, but if he gets traded, he gets traded. If you get some value for Vooch, you get value for him. Look at the Bulls over the last couple of seasons. They didn't get the real value they needed from DeRozan. They didn't get the real value of Josh Giddey is a tremendous value, but they didn't get everything they could have gotten for Caruso or Zach LaVine, even though we like what we see from these guys that are over here. So maybe they can finally decide to double down and sit down and get some true value for Vucevic, but that remains to be seen because he's still a walking double-double. So they might need him on his team too, because you can't really just trade a double-double machine for a basketball team these days, because a lot of big men aren't doing that. So we'll see what happens.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I gotta do my tradition. Josh Giddey got a triple double. I gotta go get the bread to do the Vegemite. Kev, you mind holding it down for me
of
for a second?
I'm right here, bro. You know what it is. The Chicago Bulls with a big win tonight, man. Big win tonight. The Vegemite thing has to be forever implemented into this rolling for sure. We got the LOLs. They won't trade them. Draft night is going to be a big night for the Chicago Bulls. YK Boogie, the Coby has improved his playmaking skills. That's true. That's true. Dealing with some, okay, I don't know what King Cap. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's exactly what Vucevic is dealing with. Vegemite is here. I think the Bulls will trade Vooch. They might want to, but they might not be able to. They will be able to, but I wouldn't trade him unless it was for a first-round pick, because a big man, a 7-footer that can shoot the three, that can hit the mid-range, that can give you a double-double every night, it's just hard to find. It's going to be hard to find. Vooch will stay if we get to the second round, maybe. I say keep Vooch if it's not working next season, but he's playing well. Trade him at the deadline. That's going to be cool because it's an expiring contract. No disrespect, but who'd want him? Anybody. They wanted him this year. The Lakers wanted him. It's going to be teams that definitely want Vooch for sure. Bear down, the Bulls up. This is awesome. Remember we were complaining about this team a few months back, but how things have changed. That's true. Times have changed. Bulls are in a much better position this offseason. That's true. Trade P. Will, while he still has some value, he ain't got no value right now, bro. Vucevic is crazy. Triple-double almost from the 1 MR. As much as we complain about Vooch, how many centers out there would be as good? You're right. Not many. Not many. Definitely not many. Should we give Vooch the max contract at this point? A max? He's like 34. Got to trade Vooch for first or seconds. I'm looking for first right now. I think one of them Plumlee dudes got a first-round pick. The Vooch definitely needs to get one. Vooch has weakness, but he's valuable. He can't play D. He can't play the pick and roll, but he's definitely valuable offensively. I want the Bulls to make the playoffs because I need stability in the coaching in the playoffs. Still don't believe him. Not sorry. I'm not sorry either. Vooch hasn't. Coach hasn't given us enough to believe in. And then V Dog says, "Hey Kev, I still don't trust management completely, but the franchise is starting to finally turn back into the right direction again." The Vegemite is in the building. I think it's like broccoli toothpaste, if I'm not mistaken. It's broccoli toothpaste, right? That you put on a Chico stick. Is that what we doing? That's some Australian stuff.
Yeast spread, but
A yeast spread is crazy. I'm not even gonna go into the different thoughts that popped into my head with that one.
Not that type of yeast.
He's talking about Monistat 7 spread.
It's not a chick from the West Side.
It's not sexy red.
It's not sexy red. All right, Vegemite, just on the corner. I ain't eating a lot today.
Vegemite in the building. I'm not gonna search Amazon for Vegemite. I'm gonna let Hayes continue this tradition going. John Hosey, not me. No,
that's funny. All right, y'all. Bulls get a win today, man. We appreciate it. Listen, everybody keeps saying you're supposed to. I did put butter on it first. Let me eat the Vegemite the way I decided to eat the Vegemite, all right? Y'all stop being Vegemite purists. I don't go around telling y'all how to eat coochie. Don't try to tell me how to eat Vegemite. With that said, good win by the Bulls tonight, an important win by the Bulls tonight, all jokes aside. I love the way that the Bulls they made a plan for this game, and I said it. They had to come into it. They had to win this game, and they did, man. No Cobbs. That's so funny. But yeah, we're gonna see how the Bulls continue to ride this thing on out, man. And playing bound, Kev. We're playing bound, bro.
I think we playoff, man.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, man. But thank you guys, man, for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799, with the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. We'll see you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.